The trailer is dropped with some more mixed emotion than Battlefield 1 did back in 2016. Granted, that trailer was pretty amazing and would be difficult to top, but also a lot of people didn't seem as interested in the World War II setting. But by the looks of it, the majority do seem to be a fan, or at least interested in the game. I was personally in the camp hoping that it would be more of a modern shooter, and when I heard of Battlefield 5, I thought it was going to be, but it's actually going to be some World War II, and that's what I was originally expecting. Mainly because they went back to Battlefield 1 for World War I. I thought it would continue with Battlefield 2 for World War II, etc. But I'm still confused exactly why it's Battlefield 5 or V. I'm curious of what you guys think, and put a poll in the top right corner for what you think of the World War II setting. Overall, though, I personally am a fan of DICE games, how they play, the graphical immersion, so I am hyped on this. There wasn't too much revealed at the event, but many other YouTubers actually got some early intel, and after breaking down their videos as well as the trailer multiple times while on stream, as well as analyzing everything that they had revealed at the event today, I wanted to put together my list of the top 5 biggest changes coming to Battlefield 5. There are tons more smaller items changing, and I recommend you check out some of these other guys' great full-length videos for it, but these are just my top 5 and some of my thoughts on them. First of all, there is no premium and no pay-to-win. This was a must, and I am happy they got a wake-up call to the modern day. Premium splitting the community, to me, has been one of the biggest downfalls for years, as you couldn't play with your friends who didn't have it, and oftentimes couldn't find games on the DLC at all because not enough people had the DLC and was even playing it anymore. This was especially an issue, at least for me, playing on PC, although console might not have that issue. I'm not sure. They also specifically said that there's no pay-to-win in this. If you want to unlock, you have to play the game to do so. They did mention there will be an in-depth customization system, both for character as well as weapon, and likely this is where I'm assuming we'll see some microtransactions for some customizable outfits that don't affect gameplay. And I think that's the best case scenario that we can get from a AAA title rolling out a game right now. But that's just speculation as for now, and the way that they spoke about it, it does seem like you can earn customizations as well. Second, there's a new fortification system in this game. Fortnite found its way in, and it's not that extreme, but everyone can now actually build defensive structures like walls in specific locations, and support players can actually build them faster, and they can also build offensive structures like turrets. Destruction will also be more detailed than ever in Battlefield 5, with objects adapting to what is hitting it and from which direction, rather than a constant predetermined path for debris. Plus, certain bullets will have penetration through walls, and once those walls are torn down from whatever it is, players can seemingly pull out a toolkit and rebuild portions, if not the whole area of it. Even build where there was nothing to start out. Maybe you tow a turret into a position and want to build some sandbags around it to defend. That could be a possibility. A problem with Battlefield maps in the past has been too much destruction, where eventually the map just becomes flat after really long gameplays. There's no cover left, and this is a really interesting solution to keep the gameplay a little bit more dynamic. Personally, I'm more in a wait-and-see mode to see what this is, but I am definitely interested to see how it plays out. Third is the gunplay. It got a complete rework, but as Jack had mentioned, there was no word yet on suppression. Each gun, though, will have a unique recoil pattern that will be learnable, and each gun will have its own specialization tree that you can customize and upgrade to your liking with specific trade-offs. As for movement, you can spin around while you're prone, dive down into it, dive through a window and land rolling so you can keep your momentum. You can sprint while crouched, and you can also throw back frags, even shooting them out of the air like we saw in the trailer. If you take a frag, though, or a big explosion, as we saw in the trailer as well, it will actually knock you back onto the ground. Coming in for number 4 is major changes to your lifelines, ammo, health, and revives. For health, you can only regen up to certain points of health. Then you're going to need to find a medic or some type of healing station to fully heal the rest of the way up. And when you spawn with significantly less ammunition, and you'll need to find resources to continue from either a support or, again, one of those proper stations. In addition, revives can now actually be done by anybody, but to do so, there's a long animation, and medics can still do it the fastest. Fortunately, you can pull your dead teammates to cover in a safer location and get that animation off. Animations actually are across the board now as well. When you're receiving ammo, health, building, or really anything, it seems, you're going to have to do a proper animation for it. It makes me worry because it seems like it's going to slow the pace of the game down a lot, and maybe people won't even want to do revives at all because it's going to take too long and risk their life, but it does sound like a good concept for immersion, which seemed to be one of their driving forces in their presentation that they mentioned a lot. Overall, you're probably going to have to rely a lot more on squads, which is something that I'm personally a fan of, but that's point number 5 here. The squad play has changed quite a bit for the previous reasons, but also there's now no more 3D tagging, meaning there's no more red icons over the enemies that you could just aim at and easily spot through smoke or whatever weather there is. You'll need to find those targets with your own eyes or get a call out from a squad mate. And after playing so many games now with an actual compass right at the top of the screen to call out the direction, I really love that feature and would personally love to see it in Battlefield as well. But I'm doubtful, as I didn't see it in the short portion of gameplay trailer that we got to see, and it seemed like from what they were going for, they're going for a more simple overall UI experience. As your squad plays and works together, though, you'll also unlock items, which your leader can call in, like a rocket strike, which we got to see in that trailer, calling in ammo or health, as well as power weapons for your squad to use. This will only be for your leader to call in, though. And while I personally love playing together as a squad with some friends, I also play with a lot of random squads in my YOLO series, and I can tell you from first-hand experience, it's not always great. Hopefully, they include the ability to take squad leader from somebody if they're not actually doing anything or doing any part of their task, which, if I'm not mistaken, was not even included at the Battlefield 1 launch. So here's to hoping we get all the features that we need at launch and that it's supported with new DLC coming. They did a great job with releasing content back in Battlefield 4, but with Battlefield 1 releasing in October and the first piece of premium DLC not coming till March of the next year, and that was with an actual premium pass. Now we're not going to have the premium pass, so we'll see. And they said there's going to be daily, weekly, monthly items releasing with their Tides of War, including vehicles, weapons, timed events, dog tags, face paint, skins. But I'm really in a wait-and-see mode on this. But EA Play should be the next announcement where we get more information and gameplay on all of this. Those were the biggest 5 things in my opinion, and I'm curious if you thought something else was even bigger. There's plenty of more things discussed, including a new Grand Operations mode, but from what I could tell, it seems like it's going to be very similar to the Operations. However, you'll always play all 3 maps, and if it's close at the end, then you'll go into a 4th map, which will be a 32 versus 32, one life only game, assuming that that's still the server sizes. They also had the expected single player, which will be in the form of war stories, like they did in Battlefield 1, and even co-op missions, which will seemingly be an opportunity to play with some friends through some different missions together, where you can go in with a squad following a story against some AI. From the trailer, there were still some unanswered questions that I had noticed. To start, when the plane comes in crashing down, it seems to be part of the cinematic here, but you could tell that the cinematic and the gameplay experience are actually the same when it cuts to actual gameplay halfway through this thing, seconds after this shot. So if a crashing plane comes down at the right angle, will the pilot be able to actually get out and continue playing? There's also a point when a friendly soldier pushes another one as the explosion is going off, and this was during the gameplay portion. Is that an interaction to try and save that friendly teammate that you could get points for? Maybe you could push people whenever you want to? Or is it an automatic thing that happened just for this trailer, or whenever this specific airstrike gets called in? That player that did the pushing also has a strange icon next to his name that's unique compared to everyone else. Now, maybe that's just the squad leader one, but I assume the squad leader indicator is that it's white, or maybe the star next to the person's name. Or maybe this is just the symbol for the 4th class that's in the game. There was also some more minor details that I had noticed and liked, like when you get a double kill, you see 2 separate skulls pop up and you can easily tell. And when you destroy a vehicle, a gear pops up, easily identifying what's happening, all side by side. They also kept the point counter for how much damage you do in real time, rather than doing it as assist points for on a target that gets killed. Overall, I'm pretty excited to check this game out and finally get my hands on it. I'll be checking it out at EA Play. As they have mentioned, it will be playable there as they've done in previous years. And I'll try and keep you guys updated on some of my thoughts as well as more information once I get it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to catch all of my latest content coming your way. That's for this one though. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Stonemouse64, over and out.